Seung-Hyo remembers all of Seok-Ryu's first experiences. The first time her teeth fell out. The first time she rode a bike. The first time she ran away from home. The first time she asked a man out on a date. Seung-Hyo has known her for a long time. He thinks he knows everything about Seok-Ryu. And Seok-Ryu's father used to be a chef at a hotel. Then, he worked at a restaurant, and now he runs a tteokbokki shop. Seok-Ryu was called by her mother who was busy in the kitchen. Her mother asked her to deliver dishes to Seung-Hyo's house. Then she delivered it to Seung-Hyo's house. Seung-Hyo's mother and father were very happy with Seok-Ryu's coming. Seung-Hyo's father thanked her for bringing food. Then Seok-Ryu looked for Seung-Hyo, and his parents said he was in his room. Seok-Ryu entered the room and called Seung-Hyo. Then he remembered to look for his letter in the time capsule. Finally, she found it and immediately read it. This time Seok-Ryu will reveal his dark past. Seung-Hyo, who is taking a shower, remembers the moment when with Seok-Ryu. Seok-Ryu was surprised when she read the letter, which turned out to contain his feelings for Seok-Ryu, and Seung-Hyo immediately took the letter that Seok-Ryu was holding. Seok-Ryu apologized and did not mean to read it secretly. Then Seung-Hyo crumpled and threw away the letter. He explained that it was just a joke, because he was serious about teasing her first. Seok-Ryu smiled because Seung-Hyo surprised her. Then Seung-Hyo asked her to get out because he wanted to change clothes. Seok-Ryu was curious, what's actually wrong with the letter? Seung-Hyo likes her, but it's just a joke. Why did he plan a 10-year joke? He could have denied it, but why did he crumple and throw away the letter? At home, Seok-Ryu watches her YouTube channel. It turns out she has a channel about cooking. When she cooks, she becomes very comfortable and relaxed. She feels like herself when he relaxes. Seok-Ryu meets Seung-Hyo and Tae-Hui. Seung-Hyo doesn't greet her because he usually meets her every day. Seok-Ryu thanks to Tae-Hui for giving her soy sauce. Then she invites Seok-Ryu to drink tea, but Seung-Hyo objects because he has to talk about work. Seung-Hyo comes in and Tae-Hui apologizes. Seok-Ryu thinks Seung-Hyo is upset when she tells him to go back to Tae-Hui. There's no way Seung-Hyo likes her. And she doesn't care about the letter either.
이유가 뭐야?
Tae-Hui wonders why Seung-Hyo wants to work with her. She knows she's just being used as an excuse. Previously, Seung-Hyo was always silent, but in front of Seok-Ryu, Seung-Hyo deliberately said they would work together. Moim contacts Seung-Hyo to celebrate because Seok-Ryu signed up for a cooking class. But Seung-Hyo refuses because he has other plans. Seok-Ryu could already guess that he wouldn't come.
건축가님.
Seung-Hyo meets Dan-ho on the way. Then Dan-ho shows him where he lives. It turns out he's Moim's neighbor and Dan-ho just found out. Seung-Hyo was surprised when a little kid called him Dad. He introduced himself as his father's childhood friend. Then they chatted in front of Dan-ho's porch. Dan-ho said that he was a good listener, neutral and could guarantee anonymity. Then Seung-Hyo talked about his friend. There was someone he used to like. He thought he had forgotten his feelings for her. But he was a bit confused after seeing her again. He didn't know what to do, so he kept avoiding her. She loved someone else and they almost got married. Although she is single now, he is afraid that the woman will find out. He never confessed his feelings to that woman. Because at first, he did not know his true feelings for her. After that, He did not want to ruin their friendship. When he wanted to confess his feelings, the timing was not right. Then now, he doesn't dare to try. He felt difficult for so long because of that. And now he doesn't want to go back to that time. And it turned out that at that time Mo-im listened to their conversation. She finds out why Seung-Hyo doesn't want to come. Because she's curious, Mo-im takes the time capsule they buried in high school. When she reads Seung-Hyo's letter, she smiles because she can guess that he likes Seok-Ryu. Until now, Seung-Hyo is still pathetic and stupid.
어디서 이상한 소리 들리지?
Dan-ho thinks, if he were his friend, Dan-ho would tell him about a swimmer he knows, whose weakness is being slow when starting a race. But he can overcome it by never giving up. So even though he's late, Dan-ho will tell him to be brave like that swimmer. In the morning, Mrs. Misak woke up her husband who was always late. She also didn't know when her husband would come home because he always came home late at night. She was surprised because her husband always gave the excuse of going to the funeral and giving out money. Hearing his nagging wife, he left again.
창고가 왜 모자라?
On the way, Seok-Ryu met Seung-Hyo. She immediately explained that she was just passing by because her cooking class was nearby. Then Seok-Ryu asked to keep it a secret from her parents. And she said, when the class is over, she will take her cooking home. Seok-Ryu hadn't finished talking, but Seung-Hyo interrupted her and ended the conversation because there was a meeting. But in the office, Seung-Hyo immediately browsed about Korean culinary experts. It was the cooking class that Seok-Ryu was taking. When Seung-Hyo finished drinking with his friends, he saw Seok-Ryu's father with a woman. He remembered when he was little his mother went out with a man. He waited for Seok-Ryu's father in front of his house. They chatted and Mr. Bae was curious why Seung-Hyo was in front of his house. Seung-Hyo explained that Seung-Hyo saw him with a woman. Mr. Bae was very embarrassed because Seung-Hyo saw it like that. He knew very well that he was very self-conscious and asked to keep it a secret from his wife. Seung-Hyo thought that Seok-Ryu would go crazy if she found out. The women chatted together at Mo-im's mother office. They discussed their husbands. Mrs. Misak found it difficult to meet her husband lately. She didn't know what her husband was busy with because he always came home early. Hearing that, they immediately assumed that her husband had been wandering around all night and that it was a serious problem. They asked Mrs. Misak to be careful, maybe he was cheating. Hearing that, she became confused. And when she got home, Mrs. Misak immediately checked her husband's pants. She found evidence of a short-term revolving fund loan. When her husband came home, Mrs. Misak threw a pillow at him. She was angry because her husband had been wandering around after closing the shop. He also applied for a loan without his wife's knowing. And at that time, Seok-Ryu and Dongjin came and saw their parents fighting. When Mrs. Misak asked what really happened, Mr. Bae couldn't answer. Mr. Bae feels that his wife always corners him and he has no choice. Actually, there was an accident when there were two customers eating at his shop. They saw hair in the food and when Seok-Ryu's father checked, someone bumped into the table and the bowl spilled onto the customer's hand. He also admitted that his watch was off and the watch was worth 30 million won. Mr. Bae was shocked and he would cover the repair costs. They refused and asked Mr. Bae to compensate him in full before they sued. That made him do another job as a substitute driver. And the woman Whi Seung-Hyo saw was his customer. When he got the money, he deposited 20 million won. To pay them, he took money from his family's living expenses savings. Mrs. Misak said that her husband was stupid and had no sense. And Mr. Bae feels always belittled by his wife because of his incompetence. The only thing he can do is make tteokbokki. He will do his best to return the money. He asks his wife to stop scolding him. Because he also hurts when he was hit and then he leaves the house. Dongjin calms his mother while Seok-Ryu calms her father. Her father apologizes because Seok-Ryu never bought new clothes. He also couldn't send pocket money when Seok-Ryu was abroad. Then her father still makes her worry about money. Her father feels unworthy of being a father. But her father should not appreciate her with money, but with love. She is also unemployed, doesn't she have the right to be his daughter? Her father said that Seok-Ryu will always be his daughter. And so will her father always be a father to Seok-Ryu. Seok-Ryu looks for CCTV around her father's shop. When she finds it, she asks the shop owner to see the CCTV footage. It turns out that Seung-Hyo also saw the CCTV footage before. Seung-Hyo meets the two men. He claims to be the son of the shop owner and will compensate them. But before that, he wants to see the broken watch. When they show him the watch, Seung-Hyo knows the brand of the watch. It is one of the most expensive watches in the world and he has the same watch. It is a newly launched model, but the serial number is different from the one he has. Why is the blue color of the watch face down? The stainless steel should have been polished with a brush. And it was just a cheap imitation watch. Then Seung-Hyo showed the CCTV footage through the projector. It turned out that they were preparing an object to put in the soup. They called the shop owner and intentionally spilled the soup on the watch. But they still didn't want to admit it because it wasn't evidence. Seung-Hyo showed the time on the CCTV footage and the broken watch stopped before the incident when they entered the shop. Then Dan-ho came and introduced himself as a reporter, which made them a little worried. Then Seung-Hyo checked the wound on his hand and there was no wound at all. Dan-ho felt that the crime was heinous because it preyed on helpless people who had small businesses. Seung-Hyo called the restaurant owner and made sure their faces were recorded on camera. And when they went out and ran away, Seung-Hyo and Dan-ho chased them. And Seung-Hyo's leg had not fully recovered, which made it difficult for him to run. One of the perpetrators that Dan-ho was chasing hit a pipe and made him faint. And when the other perpetrator was out of Seung-Hyo's reach, Seok-Ryu suddenly hit him with her bag. The perpetrator pushed until Seok-Ryu fell and Seung-Hyo kicked the perpetrator. He saw Seok-Ryu's nose bleeding, then he took off his tie and stopped the blood using the tie. At that time, Dongjin was also there and vented his anger by kicking the man. Mr. Bae got a call that the perpetrator had been arrested. And when Mr. Bae wanted to go to the police station, his wife hit him. He deserved to be hit because he didn't know the specialness of tteokbokki. They raised their child with that special food. Did his wife, Seok-Ryu and Dongjin, mean nothing to him? Mr. Bae feels that they are too good for him. He doesn't want to expect much, just wants to take care of the family and make everyone happy. And his wife encourages her husband. She wants to accompany her husband to the police station, wherever they will go together. Be it heaven or hell, they will go together. That's because they are family.
너 사랑해?
Seok-Ryu thanks Seung-Hyo and will clean his tie at the dry cleaners. But Seok-Hyo doesn't care about his tie. Seok-Ryu feels like thinking about herself when she finds her dream. She doesn't know what happened to her father and feels that Seok-Hyo did his best. Seok-Hyo said that his father is not a stranger. Then Seok-Ryu asks how about her? Is she a stranger to Seok-Hyo? Seok-Hyo has been distancing himself from her lately. She is anxious when Seok-Hyo acts like that, becomes distant and not like before. Seok-Hyo feels that it can't be like that forever. Now they are adults and have their own lives. Don't act childishly like knocking on his window. So, respect each other's privacy. Seok-Ryu has trouble sleeping and thinks about Seok-Hyo. And when Seok-Hyo sees Seok-Hyo's bedroom window, Seok-Hyo thinks if he can squeeze his feelings like a piece of leather, can he feel more comfortable around her? Seok-Ryu waits for Seok-Hyo in front of his office. She wants to return the favor because Seok-Hyo has helped her father. She gives him her first dish in cooking class. Back when Seok-Hyo was little, he didn't want Korean food. Then Seok-Ryu gives him food that is similar in color to the rainbow. And Seok-Hyo likes it. Seok-Ryu remembers that it was the first dish that Seok-Hyo liked. She is sure she knows more about Seok-Hyo than his parents. But Seok-Hyo feels that her memories are meaningless, all of that is in the past. Does Seok-Ryu think he is easy? They are not 5-year-olds, why she always follow him? So don't bother him, get out of his life from now on. But Seok-Ryu doesn't want to, she will bother Seok-Hyo. She will continue to interfere in his life. Seok-Hyo asks her not to make him crazy. Seok-Ryu has always been like that, before and now. Seok-Hyo feels like he will go crazy because of it. Seok-Ryu is speechless. She knows all of Seok-Hyo's first experiences. The first time he drank banana milk. The first time he swam. The first time he was taller than her. But she just doesn't know who his first love is.
몰랐던 건
Then Seok-Ryu runs and chases him. She throws her shoes at Seok-Hyo and asks what he meant by that. Will Seok-Hyo confess his feelings? See you in the next episode.